Alright, we are heading to Sturgis. We're at our first stop. Testing out the rain suits. Also got a new helmet. I've got a modular one. And we got these cool communication systems so we can keep contact with me and my wife. So yeah, we're at our first stop right now. It's supposed to be a lot of rain. So yeah, hopefully everything goes smooth. Hope we see everybody down there. If you guys are just heading down today, stay safe and ride safe. We'll see you guys when we get down there. Stopping out at McDonald's, getting something to eat. Getting a little bit of rain. My pants melted on there, so went to put the chaps over top of them. Gonna eat, and we'll be good to go. What's up? So we are in Bowman right now. We got about, I'd say, 150 miles or so to go till we reach our destination where we're camping for Sturgis. So been able to dodge most of the rain, got hit a little bit, nothing too terrible. So yeah, hopefully the weather stays decent. If you guys happen to see me down in Sturgis at all and you follow me on TikTok, come say hi. I'm gonna try to remember to have some stickers on me and stuff, so I'll give you guys a free sticker. We can maybe do like a little shout out video or something too. Everybody else that's riding down, stay safe and ride safe, and we'll see you there. All right guys, we finally made it. We got our cabin. So this is our mini cabin for the weekend. I mean, there's no electricity, but we got fancy lights everywhere. It's a little bit of a mess because we're getting things ready, but it's kind of cool. They got a little trail that leads up there. You can sit right on the deck there. Got ourselves a little stream in front. Check out the view. Alright, time to relax for a little bit and then hit downtown. Alright, so we got here close to like around 8 or so last night. It was pretty chilly by that point. We ended up going to Deadwood and eating at Mustang Sally's, which was pretty good. Then we noticed on the bike a pretty loud rattle. Come to find out that the middle exhaust bolt where the exhaust tab meets like the frame tab somehow rattled off somewhere. I don't know where. It's just these two little tabs hitting each other, but it sounds like the bike's gonna fall apart. Our first thing on the list is to go to a hardware store, see if we can find like a bolt or something like that to tighten up that, put it on there, and hopefully fix that issue so it's not so loud and yeah, it doesn't sound good. Wait till the bikes go by. We're right by the road here, so hopefully today is a better day as far as weather-wise. Looks, I think, like it's supposed to be fairly dry, and I think like mid-70s, so everybody that's out here, stay safe and ride safe. Alright. Went to Ace Hardware. We got a new bolt for the middle tab down in there for the exhaust, so hopefully we're not rattling around anymore. And now we can finally enjoy the rest of our trip. And we also had to mess with the taillight a little bit because there was like a bolt that we found. We don't know if somebody else put it on, but it's a little bit long and it was actually rubbing against the tire a little bit on our way down here. So thankfully nothing got ruined on the tire, but we got it all figured out. After we got the bike all fixed up, we decided to go to Needles Highway. As we followed the GPS, it led us down this gravel road. It had some cool scenery, some cool rock formations, and even a quarry that we were able to check out along the way to Needles Highway. As we finally got off the gravel road, the GPS led us to what we think was called the Blue Star Memorial Highway. As we rode up the hill, we encountered switchbacks and cool scenery. Once we got to the top, my wife was a little nervous, but still having a lot of fun.
We basically been riding all day. The original plan was to hit up Needles Highway, and for some reason, when we paid to get in, we started going up right to where it starts, and they were turning people around, sending them back. There was some kind of incident. I don't know if they were missing or hurt, but they had like a search and rescue vehicle go through. I know they had like a fire department vehicle and a couple other vehicles go through with sirens on. They wouldn't let anybody up there. And then as we were turning around, we saw another accident happen right in front of us. There was a guy that was trying to turn around, and I believe it was him and his wife. Both tipped their ultralight. He wasn't able to catch himself really, and he hit his head on the concrete. He was bleeding from his head and everything. They got him up and got him some first aid and stuff. When we left, he was coherent and everything, and they were working on getting his bike kind of back to riding shape.
going on up there?
I just seen the search and rescue.
Yeah, that's all I saw too. Yeah.
But they turned everybody around.
Yeah.
But then this one,
Yeah, I saw that. They hit pretty hard.
As we came up on the scene, it's hard to tell from this point, but we're actually on a pretty sloped part of this highway. So I was constantly having to have the front brake on, or our bike would start rolling backwards. So I had my wife dig in our bag and get our first aid kit and offer it if they needed it. And when she had gotten up there, they had already had it taken care of and were working on the guy's wound and getting him all patched up and everything. So as we sat and waited to get into Needles Highway, after that incident, we had heard that there was a few other incidents on that road, and they had decided to close down Needles Highway for the day. So we did not get to go experience Needles Highway for the first time this year. So we sat around brainstorming what to do, and we decided to go and look at some abandoned towns that my wife had found while looking them up online. This one was called Mystic City. On our way to Mystic City, we ended up encountering this like freshly paved road that went through like this grove of trees, and it gave off like a really cool like Disney forest vibe, which we really enjoyed. After that, it was miles of loose gravel. It was a pretty sketchy ride out, but the scenery was pretty cool. We passed a couple of other abandoned towns on the way and a really neat bridge. Once we arrived, there was no Mystic City, only one big lonely church, but we decided to look around anyway because we had come all this way. The only other thing to see out there was a small fenced off square sitting alone. We were pretty curious to see what it was, so I gave my wife the one GoPro that we had, and I kept my 360 running the entire time. As she walked up to this mysterious enclosure, there was a plaque, and it said that it was a grave for a mother and her two children from the 1800s. So we had seen that some people must have left some things on the graves in honor of them. We wish that we had had some stuff to leave there, but being this was a last minute trip, we didn't really have anything on hand. So we recorded the whole thing, but when we went back to check both cameras, the footage of my wife at the gravesite and my footage on my 360 camera, both were gone and we couldn't find them. After visiting the grave, we decided to head back to camp. I typed in the address to our camp, and as we followed the GPS, it kept telling us to do a U-turn. So we did. It was leading us in the exact opposite direction. So we turned around, reset the directions, and went. The GPS said make a U-turn. This time we ignored it and hoping it was going to correct itself. The GPS wanted us to make the next possible U-turn, so at this point we are thinking maybe we missed a paved road or something, so we zoomed out to see where it was leading us, and it was trying to take us to the exact same spot of the gravesite. At this point, we are kind of lost in the mountains in a dead zone on the gravel. We weren't getting any reception or anything, so we decided just to get back to the pavement and plan from there. We decided to get enough distance to hopefully either get the GPS to work or to try to get cell service back. We went down the road for a while, and it ended up still telling us at this point to turn around and do a U-turn. So we were kind of confused and wondering what to do because we were kind of out in the middle of nowhere and we weren't really familiar with that part of the area. I knew where the pavement was, and so we just followed the road roughly in the direction of Sturgis.
and hoping that it would correct itself along the way, and eventually it did, and it led us back to camp. Just in time to get into town and go get a bite to eat before ending our night.
Little update. Last night, when me and my wife went to Deadwood, we noticed that the fuel hose on the bike was leaking pretty good. We were able to kind of slow it down a little bit. We got a hold of somebody today finally, Midwest Motorcycles, down in Sturgis. Dropped it off about 10:30 or so. They just got done about 5. They had a bit of a list, but luckily it was right in Sturgis. So it was just a couple blocks to Main Street. We went and checked some stuff out, walked around, ate some food, things like that. Now we're going to go get the bike and maybe try to get a ride in before it gets too dark. It's raining a little bit right now, but not too terrible. So, all right, everybody out there, stay safe and ride safe.
This is another spot that we like to ride by. It's Lake Pactola. It's a pretty cool lake. It's really nice when you get out there on a nice sunny day. And there's like a little pull-off stop kind of that you'll come across that you can go and park your bike at. And you can go and get a picture kind of with the scenery behind you. If you go off to the side, there's some rocks that will lead you actually to kind of a little beach area, which is kind of cool that we go and we'll take pictures on by the rocks and stuff like that. So in 2023, it was a pretty rough year for us. Starting out the year in January, I had lost my dad. And a few months later, my wife had lost her stepdad, who she had always considered a dad. And a couple years previous, she had lost her biological dad. So the last couple of years have been pretty rough on us, especially this year in 2023. So we were kind of up in the air about taking this trip and whether or not we should go. We kind of pushed ourselves to get out there because we figured it was something that our dads would want us to do, to get out and have some fun and go check out the Black Hills and stuff that they all enjoyed. I remember growing up, my birthday was always during Sturgis. Mine's on August 15th, so it always fell kind of around Sturgis, and my parents would go every year, and every year they would come back and they would give me some type of gift that they found down in Sturgis and everything. And I remember growing up thinking how cool it would be to be able to go down to Sturgis with my family and kind of, do that tradition together. Me and my dad, we had talked about it quite a bit. He loved all the videos and pictures and stuff that we would take, like when we went down there, and he would tell us about him and my mom's time down there, and we had always planned to go. He was having some health issues and he didn't have his bike at the time, but we had talked about going,
when he was going to get another bike, and then sadly he had passed, and so we decided to go, but I still wanted to try to find a way to somehow bring him with me. So I had these special necklaces made for me, my brothers, and all of my dad's grandkids. It's got a thumbprint and my dad's name on it, a little phrase on the back of it. For me, I had a hook that I ordered because he loved to fish, and so inside the hook I had put some of his ashes in there. So it was a way for me to take him along with us, kind of as our first Sturgis trip together, even though it's not exactly how I wanted our first trip to go. But, you know, we had to do what we had to do. So I had that necklace made, and I wore it the entire trip. That was kind of my way of bringing him with me for our first Sturgis trip together. I'll put a little picture at the end of this to show you guys the necklace that I wore, share a photo in memory of my dad, and share a photo in memory of my wife's stepdad as well. And thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, stay safe and ride safe. Of it, but a lot more than we came with. Finally back home. Took us a little bit longer because of storms, so we had to ride through the night and tons of bugs. But we're back now.